There we go. From one show to the other, bouncing back. We are here. It's Josh. It's Jake. You don't get us a ton live before lock, but when you do, boy, is it sweet. Jake, you ready for this? Because this slate is something else.
Yeah, phenomenal slate we've got here. 5 games, Erasmo Ramirez chalk. It's going to be fun.
So, let's talk about Erasmo Ramirez to start. 45% owned on our last update, I believe. Is that what you're seeing as well?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you doing with Erasmo Ramirez? Because I think everyone's probably drawing a pretty firm line in the sand.
Yeah, I'm going way underweight on that. So Adam was just talking about it, actually. I was listening to that, pretty much all of that show, and he's just not a good pitcher. So it'd be one thing if he was cheap and this was, I don't know, insert a pitcher that's 6K that we think is someone good. Like if this was Felix Pena or someone that I think can get strikeouts, it would be a different thing. And I just use him as an example because he's been around 6K and been chalky. But yeah, like I'm using Rogers, using a little bit of Brian Mitchell. Are you using either guy? Well, Stroman. Are you using either guy in the LA Texas game? You're not, right?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Those guys out. I don't see them going long enough for it to matter.
I mean, Springs is definitely not. He's, as far as I'm concerned, he's not rosterable.
Yeah, agreed. Kind of same thing with Shoemaker too, in my opinion. Just he's too expensive. And I just think Stroman's a better play. I think Chirinos. Did we decide? Is it Chirinos or?
I mean, it was Chirinos to me all day, but I guess Adam had seen Beeks at some point. But I'm operating as if it's Chirinos.
Okay.
I'm also not playing Chirinos, so ultimately it doesn't really matter.
No Chirinos for you?
No Chirinos for me.
Okay. Man, I'm looking for any reason to play any of these pitchers, really. So, I mean, I'm making 150 lineups. If I was single entering, I don't think Chirinos would end up on my team. It'd probably be Stroman and maybe DeGrom or Godley. But with 150, it's pretty easy for me to just say, okay, I can play a 15 or 20% Yanni Chirinos and hope for 4 or 5 solid innings.
So I think that I'm just going to say, fuck it, for like the entire slate of pitching. Right now I've got 70% Godley, 51% Wood, 62% Erasmo Ramirez. So 184 of my 200% of ownership is just those 3 guys. And it's kind of like YOLO. If it dies, it dies.
Who was the last one? So it's Godley, Wood, and who?
Erasmo Ramirez.
Oh, God. All right. So you are not on DeGrom then?
I'm not. And I tried to get to him. I tried to force in. I tried to change my weights. And it's just, from a construction standpoint, it's really difficult for me. Because there's not really like a naturally cheap stack that I think is feasible. There's no... what would be a good example of somebody that was cheap this morning? Like, there's no version of the Tigers on this slate compared to everyone else, or the Pirates from earlier. Like, everybody's sort of all in the same price point, too. And I just, for some reason, I can't get to DeGrom. Not with any gusto.
Yeah, I mean, he's an awesome play.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with him. It's just 13-4 in this particular slate structure. Like, he has the highest upside to me. I don't know how to manage it.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much if you play DeGrom, you're probably getting pretty good leverage off of one of the other popular pitchers, though, is the nice thing. Like, if you play DeGrom, you're kind of forced into maybe a Padres leverage stack against Godley, or maybe the Orioles against Erasmo.
So that's the play, right? Let's talk about that right now. Should the Orioles be more popular? Or should we be trying to fit in more Orioles, I guess is the more specific way to say that.
I mean, I am. I'm forcing them in just because I'm making a pretty significant stand on Erasmo, at least where we have him right now. Like, I'm probably going to be more in like the 8 to 10% range, whereas he's looking like.
Okay, that's interesting to me then. You're going to
Yeah.
go to the Orioles as well.
Yeah. Hitting Erasmo, like I'm hoping he gets lit up by these Orioles.
Sure.
Like even if he gets like 8 points, that's not going to kill the chalk. You need him to like get rocked here if you're fading him for 6,200 because it's just not going to make up that much ground if he gets 8 or 9 points here. So you need the stack on the other side, I think, with a 45% guy on a 5-game slate.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. It's a really weird balancing act tonight. This is one of the more unique. This is probably the most unique main slate we've had. 5 games, but just a really weird structure of one crazy expensive DeGrom who seems like he's slipping through the cracks.
Like crazy. Yeah.
I don't know what to make of it.
The most talented pitcher on the slate isn't going to be one of the top, 3 or 4 owned guys. That's kind of crazy.
Okay, so we have DeGrom projected for 28%. Are you trying to get over that number?
I definitely want to be at least at it.
Okay.
I'm going to be probably lower on Wood.
Okay, so I was going to say, like, who are you skipping out on then?
Yeah. So kind of skipping out on Wood to some extent. And then Erasmo. So I'm going to have more Josh Rogers in the field, which isn't hard to do. Just good leverage. I mean, I like Seattle bats. I like Cruz and Haniger a ton, and even Healy to some extent. But it's just too good of a leverage spot here on a short slate. So if all the chalk goes off, or the expected chalk that we have, then I'm going to get crushed, except for Texas. I have a ton of Texas.
Okay, so that's the line that I drew in the sand. Texas is the team that I'm skipping.
Really?
Yeah, I'm doubling up even more than double on the Mariners.
Okay. Wow. I guess I kind of remember that from this morning.
Well, I made the conscious decision to burn the Rangers here. I think that they're heavily owned, and I think that they're a little volatile. And I'm going to trust Shoemaker to be fine. Weather, not like the kind of weather that it's been.
Correct.
Wind, not that wind blowing in matters because that's not what I'm looking at, but rain, 80-degree temperatures. I'm hoping that's the spot that I can get different because I don't know where else to get different at hitter. So I had to pick one, and the Rangers were the team that graded out, in my opinion, the lowest of everyone.
They just grade out so well for me. I capped them. I had to cap them, otherwise they were going to end up in almost all my lineups. Just a bad bullpen behind Shoemaker, like Adam was talking about. Some of the bullpen arms just pretty rough on both sides too. It's not like Texas has a shutdown bullpen by any means. And I just think this spot is really, really awesome for Texas. They're the highest owned team, but like the Arizona, like the top Arizona bats aren't that far behind. And same with Seattle. So
yeah, like aggregate ownership for the Rangers, 23%. For the Angels, 18. For the Mariners, 13. So I'm basically just flipping that. I'm taking what the public's trying to do for the Rangers and going to Seattle.
Okay, that's fair.
Essentially the same run total, but it's a much better pitching matchup, I'd say. Not the same park, but it's also not 100 degrees in Texas, and I'm hoping that can save me. This is a weather play for me.
Yeah.
Classic Josh and his weather plays.
Yeah.
I think it's the first time I've mentioned weather.
I mean, you got to make a stand somewhere, right? As long as you're not raking yourself on the slate.
Yeah.
And even if our ownership projections aren't perfectly 100%, and they're not going to be, but the point is they're going to give you a good idea of who's chalk, who's not, and around their percentages across various tournaments. you're going to need to get leverage somehow on a 5-game slate with only 10 teams and really 8 pitchers. Well, maybe 7, depending on what you think of Mitchell in play.
Yeah. I think that, well, like, I was getting the exact same 4 teams over, like, with major ownership: Mariners, Angels, Diamondbacks, Rangers. And I didn't really feel like that was going to be getting me anywhere special. So I needed to pick one of those teams to be on the opposite side of. And it just felt like the Rangers were, like, the easiest option for me.
Yeah, that's...
Like, the Angels are going to get a full bullpen game from Texas. So I'm willing to take those chances. I think they're priced pretty fairly. I like a lot of the top of the order. Briseño and Eric Young are the only 2 guys that are like black holes. And, you know, Rangers are boom bust. They could hit 5 dongs today, and it wouldn't be crazy at all.
Right.
But they could also have 2 hits, and it wouldn't shock me. So I'm rolling the dice. I rolled the dice and skipped out on the Rangers. Was that yesterday that they hung it on Minnesota?
I think that might have been Saturday. I don't know. My days are all mixed up. Doing this, just in general, will do that to you. And then the long weekend, it feels like it's I don't even know what day it feels like. Maybe a Sunday, but
was it?
That could have been Saturday. I have no idea.
I can't remember if it was yesterday or 2 days ago. No, it was yesterday. Yeah, so they put up 18 on the Twins yesterday.
Okay.
I'm just going to hope that they don't do it again.
Yeah, but even if they put up 8, that might lead the slate.
It could.
Not saying they're even likely to put up 8, but you know what I'm saying? Like, on a huge slate, you need to have a 12, 15, 18-run game, and then you're just no doubt the nuts. They could beat the nuts with 8 runs here if they mix in a couple home runs and the right guys are scoring the runs and getting the RBIs.
Okay, so Angels, Rangers, Diamondbacks, Mariners. They're the 4 chalkiest stacks of the slate. They're the 4 teams that have implied totals over 5. Who don't you want?
I mean, I have exposure to everyone.
Sure. Well, I mean, you're going to...
Yeah, compared to where the field's at and my last crunch, I think I'm most underweight on, which is kind of scary, but...
I didn't hear who you said, sorry.
It was the Angels.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think the chalk bats are the chalk bats for good reason tonight. It's the pitching that I'm not in agreement with, and it's mostly Erasmo.
See, I like the Angels because of their lineup construction. You know, predominantly righties against Springs. You know, if this was inverse and the lefty was hitting the Rangers, I'd be a little bit more enthused. But I'm hoping that they can just get Springs out of there quickly. Springs, big-time stuff, by the way. Scary strikeout stuff. If he could actually start, that'd be a much different story.
Right. Yeah, so he's only going a couple innings, probably.
Yeah, so I think I put him in for 2. That's usually my standard for any of these bullpen guys.
Should I avoid the Angels and Rangers game with all that rain?
Avoid?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, not in its entirety.
Why would you need to avoid it? I mean, is it in danger of getting postponed? Not from what I've seen.
Yeah, it's not a game you're looking for pitchers, so I couldn't avoid both sides of that game. I mean, I think I'm already scared as shit to like half fade the Rangers. And yeah, let me be more specific here. I'm not getting 0 exposure to the Rangers. I'm putting myself at about half the field. So I'll have a couple bullets in the chamber.
Right. I think that's a smart way to play in baseball on a 5-game slate. Is not to, you don't have to go all in for, you don't have to go all in for one team, but the Rangers are the team I have the most exposure to. Like, I'm over the field and I know they're chalk, but I think that they're the best stack or in the best situation. So I guess I'm taking a stand by still playing chalk.
Okay. So my next question to you then is this. Do you have any interest in the Rays?
Um, Not really. They just don't have great hitters. That's the issue.
Yeah.
I love Chirinos tonight, or Chirinos. I love Stroman tonight. So
Okay.
yeah.
Have you looked at the Rays lineup? 7 lefties.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I know.
I don't know.
I know.
I'm grasping at straws today.
I know. That's what it feels like you're doing though on these 5-gamers, especially with all this garbage pitching down low. There's what, 3 guys that are in like really solid spots in DeGrom, Wood, and Godley.
Yeah.
So you can't. I mean, you could play all those guys, but you'd be really limiting. Like you could play just those guys, but you'd be really limiting your lineup constructions, your possibilities there. And I'm just not interested in doing that. So I'm going to mix in Rogers. I'm going to mix in Stroman. Well, not mix in. I'm going to have a ton of Stroman, but I'm going to sacrifice some Alex Wood for that and a lot of Erasmo Ramirez.
Okay, so Erasmo at 45, Stroman at 22. Are you thinking the opposite for you?
Yeah, even less Erasmo than that. Because like I think in some of the lower stakes stuff, I think Erasmo would be like 20, 25, 30, which is obviously more reasonable, but still he's going to be one of the highest owned pitchers, I think, at pretty much all stakes tonight. And I don't want to go with the guy that just gives up a ton of hard contact. It's almost like too obvious of a spot, but he doesn't get strikeouts either. That's the problem. I'll play low priced pitcher chalk when they can get strikeouts, or I think they have a good chance to get strikeouts. But like, do you see Erasmo getting, not that he has to, but like, is that even a possibility here where he can just destroy the slate with 25 or 30 DK points?
Yeah, that would be very, very surprising.
So that's where I'm at. It's like, so you and Lofty were talking this morning. Was that this morning?
It was this morning.
Okay. This has been a long day.
Literally right after we stopped talking.
Yeah, that's why. So I've like watched like 4 shows today. Talking in circles. Yeah, whatever. What else do you want to talk about? But like, is Erasmo going to kill you? Is the question. And I don't think he's got a great chance to kill me at that ownership.
I just don't know what to do with him because I hate the Orioles so much.
They've been so much better lately.
But they still strike out so much. I don't know. Let's see if there's anything in the chat that we could hit on. What's my Shoemaker exposure? 0. I'm not going to Chirinos at all.
Any idea what the latest is on Chirinos? What's the probability it doesn't go in? Tom asked.
What would you? 5%?
Well, you can't say 5. I mean, it's happened before a couple times.
I mean, that's 5 is 1 out of 20 seems like a pretty aggressive stance to take. No, they can only put so many people in.
Well, just because we had conflicting reports, so it's already.
I mean, when I looked at it, I didn't think there was a chance that it was Beeks, but
okay.
It also doesn't have to be either of those two now with expanded rosters.
Right. I have so much Wood and Godley in this mess. Yeah.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have a ton of Godley.
Yeah, and I see Godley and Wood as unavoidable chalk today. They're too good. They're at too good of price points. Like, those are 2 guys. The Erasmo one I could definitely talk myself out of. But Godley and Wood are just in a really nice spot on this slate.
I think Godley more than Wood.
Yeah, I agree. I have 70% Godley.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna end up somewhere around there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I agree with you there. But I mean, even just Wood at 9,200. I mean, there's not a lot of people that are close to him. And there's no one else there from a price point. Closest guy, Shoemaker below him, or if you got to go all the way up to DeGrom if you're not talking about Godley. It's just, he's kind of in no man's land.
Trying to predict Kevin Cashman's September call-ups. Good luck. Yep.
Yeah, like I don't even want to risk Chirinos. You need, like, I think you need way too much from him to make it worth your while.
From Chirinos?
Yeah.
I mean, you just need him to be better than Erasmo.
I guess.
It's just a pivot, right?
I guess.
I don't think any of these guys are going to light the world on fire. I mean, I think Stroman has a chance, but of like 20 plus. But like I think it's a very low probability that Brian Mitchell gets you to 20 or Josh Rogers or Erasmo.
It's going to be really disgusting when it's Rogers.
I mean, I have a bunch of Rogers.
I can't justify that.
It's just very, very good leverage. Adam kind of talked me into it. It's just good leverage.
Yeah, I was trying to plug my ears for it because I don't want to talk myself into it.
So many different ways to leverage tonight.
They're really it's well, that's the sort of thing. As soon as you open one door, it's leading you to very distinct doors after that. But that first door that you select is telling.
Right.
Like as soon as you decide I would like to have more Rogers, there's a very clear path of other things that you should do in hitting.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I feel like tonight's the random number generator of DFS.
Right? You're just kind of hoping, well, we're just kind of hoping that Fantasy Cruncher produces the nuts. Not that we aren't on other nights, but it's going to be wild.
Do we know if Jose Fernandez is a hitter yet on Fantasy Cruncher?
I just refreshed it, and let me check.
I wouldn't be mad if he was. He is.
He is. All right. Okay, so we're going to both have to recrunch then, I'm assuming.
Yes, I was doing that anyway. And on a 5-game slate, it's not too hard to do, which is really nice.
He's got a lot of power.
I'm going to have him quite a bit. He's minimum salary on FanDuel.
Pretty solid.
So he's very, very, very in play on FanDuel.
So that might up my exposure to the Angels just a little bit because I was missing it bat in there in the 5th spot, and that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Angels have 2 first basemen at minimum salary today, so kudos to you, FanDuel. Although that's fine. I mean, you have the utility, so it's not like you're pinched into anything. But all right, I'm gonna let a crunch rip. We'll have it really quickly, and then we could sort of talk about where I'm at and how to get myself out of whatever I'm doing. We're gonna go till 7:05. It is 7:05, right? There's not like a weird late start that I didn't pay attention to.
No, 7:10. 7:07.
Oh, good. I might need those 2 minutes. Oh, I'm getting a full 80% godly right now. That's my cap for today, FYI.
I know Godley's not a type of guy that we consider as safe, but I mean, he's probably the 2nd safest pitcher tonight, right? Behind DeGrom, just for raw points.
Yeah, so Godley has the 2nd highest ceiling for me, just barely behind DeGrom.
Yeah.
So,
and that's why I think the Wood fade or underweight is such an easier route to go. I mean, you're seeing at least a decent amount of righties in there. Frazier can hit lefties. Flores can hit lefties. Ahmed Rosario's improved. Mesoraco has some power. Like there's ways to get to Wood in this lineup where you look at Godley and I can just see him getting so many strikeouts here against a bunch of righties. Yeah, you might give up a solo shot or two, but man, it seems like almost certainly the strikeouts are going to be there for him. I know he got crushed against San Diego. Was that 2 starts ago? But
yeah,
I'm not really weighing that at all. He's an awesome pitcher, and he's been awesome for 2 months now.
Yeah, there's no reason to get too cute with Godley. Look, could he get blown up? Absolutely. Everyone can. Yeah. But I just have to take that stand today. Okay, so on my recrunch, 80% Godley, 59% Wood, 55% Erasmo Ramirez, 6% DeGrom, and that's it. I don't have another pitcher at all.
So how many pitchers do you have? 5?
3. Well, 3 plus 6% DeGrom, so 3.1.
Wow. All right. I'm playing more pitch. That's surprising to me because you're more likely to play almost or get exposure at least a little bit to every player, whereas I'm more likely to just kind of exclude guys on purpose. So I'm surprised you're doing that with so few players in play.
Yeah, I'm not confident in it. Let's say that much.
I don't think anybody should be super confident about this slate.
No.
Ownership's so concentrated that things can switch just instantly.
Ignore what I just said. I'll have some Stroman. I didn't realize that my randomness didn't carry over on my pitchers, and that's a key component for me. So I'll have a little bit of Stroman and more DeGrom than I said.
I can't believe you're not having any Yanni. I mean, not even a single share?
No. Okay,
right.
Like I have him in for 4 innings. I don't think that I can be that much more aggressive than that today. I mean, we don't even totally know that he's that he's going to play.
You make a good point, Josh. Don't even know that he's playing. So maybe I'm the crazy one here.
No, I don't think you're crazy. It basically comes down for me that I just don't want to split all that ownership. I just want to give it all to the bats today. And Erasmo kind of gets me there. I don't...
Could be just... Yeah.
I'm willing to be more risky in my pitching and just have what amounts to 4 people.
Well, you're not being risky, though. You're taking the guys with the best projections, basically.
Well, I think having anything over 50% Erasmo Ramirez is at least putting me in the boat of mild amounts of risk.
Yeah. Do you have any Baltimore stacks besides your one lineup that you always have?
Not really, and that's the only part that I'm thinking that I should force in a little bit more. But I kind of like the Rays more than I like the Orioles, and I feel like I just need to pick one. Okay, so I upped my randomness now, so we could actually have a conversation about where I did land. I was wondering why it was so aggressive, and it was because it wasn't moving anybody through the projections. So 16% DeGrom, 67% Godley, 57% Wood, 10% Stroman, 50% Erasmo. That's what I was expecting.
10% Stroman, 50% Erasmo.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm doing half the field on the Rangers. But I feel like I need to take one of the Orioles or Rays, probably the Orioles, and force in a bit.
That was kind of my next question is of the non-3 stacks that are going to take up most of the ownership, who are you most worried about fading, or who do you have the most exposure to after that? Because I think everyone's going to be on those bats, and it's a very good chance that there are very chalky bats in the winning lineups tonight in tournaments. But which other full stacks are you getting exposure to outside of your one lineup?
Sorry, someone has Fantasy Cruncher in the chat, whether that's Dave or actually Fantasy Cruncher, is yelling at me. Dave. Yeah, I'm here. What do you want me to do? I have ownership in my worksheet. Jake, ask me your question again. Sorry, I was getting screamed at in the chat.
No, basically just what other stacks are you getting exposure to besides the big guns? So I guess there's 4 of them you can include in there, and that's LA, Texas. I know your stance on them, but Arizona and Seattle. Are you making a big ownership stance anywhere else?
Yeah, so I'll run down everything. I'm more than double the field on the Mariners. I'm over the field on the Diamondbacks, the Angels, and slightly on the Blue Jays. Everywhere else, I'm under.
Okay. Yeah, that's because that was kind of what I was asking. Yeah, so for me, the answer would be I'm getting Orioles because it's a very good chance I end up with he wants you to test the beta.
Okay. All right, I'm on it now.
Can you share your screen with me? I want to see this.
Yeah.
I I'm getting exposure to the Orioles, and then just as a flyer, so Toronto, obviously, and then I do have some Dodgers stacks, like 4% or 5%. Let me check my last crunch. Just because their players project so high, if they can get to DeGrom early, which isn't overly likely, I think they can have their way with that bullpen. Like even if DeGrom goes, let's say 5, and he just gets in trouble one inning, he lets up a couple runs, you get 4 innings against that Mets bullpen, they could just be a bomb show. So that's kind of my logic there.
I'm working through here, figuring out what's going on in the beta.
Let's see.
If you have uploaded your own data columns, what the fuck is this?
Go to upload data, you said.
This is going to be... I don't know what's about to happen, but this should be fun.
Where's my discount code, Dave?
Let me just get my settings back in here, and then we'll go to upload data. We need to pick dongs shortly.
Upload hey, did you see I got one?
Dave, my man, look at you. You could paste in randomness now. I'm clapping. I'm clapping.
Well, wait. So what would that do?
So you can set individual. You can set manual randomness on people now, in bulk. So as your paste. So let's think about somebody. Let's take. Okay, let's say you have Godley and Wood at very similar projections, but we'll say that Godley is significantly more volatile. Mm-hmm. You can set your randomness to Godley at 20%, your randomness to Wood at say 5%, and it'll give bigger error, like it'll give bigger bars. You'll end up with more Godley because he's more variant.
Right, but I'm saying, wouldn't you have to have like a randomness metric of your own?
Yeah, I mean, you can make a case that randomness could be a proxy for a pitcher's standard deviation or a hitter's standard deviation in their scoring. So you'll get bigger randomness on home run hitters than you would for a D. Gordon.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
So you're more likely to get guys like Chris Davis or big-time sluggers than you would be a singles hitter who are naturally going to not have as much variance to their stuff. I could add more shit? What else would I want to add?
Add a column. Click add remove column. Ooh.
Add in ownership, for example.
Wow. You can upload like our ownership projections? So you can see our ownership projections next to the actual guy?
Okay, so that's really valuable to other people. Less valuable to me.
Why is that less valuable to you?
Because I'm already putting it back in an Excel sheet and looking at it. So like...
Oh, I see.
I don't necessarily need it in Fantasy Cruncher, but that's incredibly valuable to other people.
That's valuable to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, I'm not in a position to like scramble to do this right now, but I will make a point of doing it tomorrow during the live stream.
Yeah, that's cool.
Or hell, maybe I'll just do a video tomorrow and walk through it all.
People have been asking for that, by the way.
Oh yeah, I mean, they've been asking for a while. But you can run calculations. What kind of calculations? You're giving me all this stuff, Dave, and I don't really know how to utilize it at this moment.
Matthew Prodwall. Who else do you play besides Trout? We can answer questions in between this.
Who else do? Everybody.
Calhoun,
like Fletcher, Trout, Simmons, Fernandez, Marte, Briseño. I have everybody.
Andrelton's after Trout.
Okay, how do I delete a column? Okay, I don't have to delete a column. Oh, this is going to be fantastic.
Don't ask, just do it.
Well, I don't have the... I don't have the owner... I don't have an easily pasteable way to do this right now. And once I get everybody in... Oh, good God. Okay. Hey, Dave, while you're here, can you add Cedric Mullins II as a potential name for Cedric Mullins so I don't have to delete the damn second every time that I do this? Because I'm ready to lose my mind. And it worked last time when I said, can I get randomness in here? And now all of a sudden it's just here.
Talk me into Nick Ahmed or Freddie Galvis. I like Ahmed against lefties. I mean, if you're not playing Godly, then Galvis is at least decent leverage. I mean, I like to take leverage bats that have power. So Galvis is not my favorite of the leverage guys, but I think I do prefer Galvis straight up.
Holy shit, you could set your own maximums on ownership projections. Yeah, Dave, I can't do this right now. I can't do it right now, but I want to dive into this, and I will in the next day.
Set your own.
Here, if you have uploaded your own data columns, you can use the data to enforce restrictions on the lineups created. A good use case may be uploading ownership projections and then restricting each lineup to a maximum ownership total.
Dude, this is too much for my brain right now.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I just can't. I don't have the time to like do this without putting my lineups in first. So let's firm this up, and then for like the last 5 minutes or so, we'll screw around with it. Let's pick home runs first.
Josh is opening his presents on Christmas. Yeah. All right. Did you see I got one, by the way?
When?
Rizzo this morning.
I don't even remember picking them today.
Who'd you pick?
I don't know.
Was someone in the chat? Who did Josh pick this morning?
Thanks, Dave. Cedric Mullins the second. I love it.
You picked. Was it Dickerson? Yeah, it was Dickerson.
Add in home run column. Stop yelling at me. I haven't even crunched my lines yet. This is fantastic. What a great tool.
Someone asked who Dave is. I haven't met Dave, but he's the creator of Fantasy Cruncher. Works really hard on it, adding new stuff constantly. And you know him, Josh, right?
I mean, just like digitally.
Yeah.
Great
yes.
guy.
There's more. It just never ends.
I can't do it right now. Let me get my lineups in, and then we're good to go. Normally, this isn't the type of show where I have like homework and shit. So,
well, 5-game slate. You can do a little bit of homework.
I'm gonna jam this stuff in, and then we'll be good to go.
I like how my last crunch came out. All right, as far as stack ownerships,
I'm gonna do 10 lines of Baltimore. So I'll do 14 lines of Baltimore. So let's do 200 here. I'm gonna jam both of these in. I'm gonna crunch. I'm gonna upload my lineup so that I don't have to stress about this at 7:06. And then the rest of the show is going to be the Fantasy Cruncher beta breakdown. The best I could do.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, I understand what Dave's saying.
Anderson Simmons, Matthew Prodwell. Anderson Simmons is my next favorite by a pretty decent margin. And then after him, it kind of drops off. But I've got a bunch of Jose Miguel Fernandez and who else? And well, obviously Calhoun and Fletcher just as fillers. But yeah, it's mostly just Trout and Simmons that are coming up in basically every LA stack I have. You could have better lineups tonight. You're throwing away 50K.
I'm not even in something that could win 50K.
Tom will win the 50K.
Yeah. Hey, Tom's probably doing this shit right now, too.
Favorite shortstop on DK? Anderson Simmons.
Yeah, probably. Him or Andrews, right?
One of those guys from that game.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's going to be like, I'm just yelling out chalky names, but Segura as well against Josh Rogers.
Sure. All right. I got DraftKings done. I'm going to paste this in here, make sure everything looks good, and then I'll do FanDuel, and then I'll get out of here, and we can start actually crunching this stuff out and fucking around with the tool. Look, I've been doing this for so long. I'm quick about it. I assume I'm as quick as anybody else that could possibly be doing this, at least.
Which stack do you like better, Pods or Rays? For me, that's the Padres.
Ooh, I would say Rays.
I really think, or I'm sorry, I meant Rays. I was looking at the Padres. part of the question. I really think Godley's going to dominate tonight. So, like my Urena call earlier. I mean, we were on Urena. But,
I had 3 times the field of Urena, I think.
I
had way more than that, actually.
What was he at?
I don't know. I don't remember. But I had like 7 times his projected ownership.
Yeah.
So. All right. DK, done. Orioles, a little bit over the field. I'm half the Rangers. I'll take it. I'm right where I want to be.
How did you end up on the early slate, by the way?
Essentially neutral.
Yeah.
That V-Mart home run had me knocking on the door of the King of the Diamond qualifier, but I didn't get it.
Dang.
And I've been desperately trying to get it for the past week now.
Choi as a value on DK. Sure.
Oh, man. Dave just coming into chat and dropping a bomb on me. Man, I stopped going to the beta once the beta broke because people are mean about the beta. Mean as in not doing what they should do with a single fantasy account. Jerks. Absolute jerks.
Use the Fantasy Cruncher to win money and then buy your friend a subscription. So easy.
It is so easy.
Don't do that in reverse order.
5-game slate. 5. I'll worry less about the Orioles here. 181. All right, I'm taking whatever I get here. We're going to have a solid 15 minutes to dick around with this stuff. I'm excited.
I'm entering my lineups in right now.
Okay. Just dropping an absolute bomb. So, all right, everybody, this is where I'm at. DraftKings. More than double the field on the Mariners. That's the team that's going to butter my bread today. Diamondbacks and Angels, I'm over the field on both. I'm relatively neutral on the Jays. The Rangers are the team I'm taking the major stand on, coming in at less than half the exposure. And I'll have just enough Orioles to offset Erasmo Ramirez turning into a pumpkin.
All right, should I go with mine?
Yeah.
All right. So, using handy Fantasy Cruncher, highest owned stacks, Texas by a wide margin. Then it's Arizona, LA, Seattle. So I'm playing all the chalk, but I'm going to end up underweight on probably Seattle and the Angels. Then after that, Toronto, Baltimore, the Dodgers, the Mets, and then Tampa Bay in that order. And then did not end up with any San Diego stacks. Probably not the sharpest thing to do with 150 lineups when you're going up against a pitcher that's 50% owned. Because if Godley gets rocked, I mean, there's literally no chance I win. But that's how it ended up. So that's where we're at. Oh, pitching. Kind of how I said off the top of the show, it's Godley, Stroman, DeGrom, Chirinos, Wood, then Rogers, and then I ended up with 2 lineups of Erasmo Ramirez, 1%.
Oh, boy. I feel like it's Seattle pitchers that you and I are obviously different on always. There was the night that you had like 95% Marco Gonzalez, and I had none, and now it's the opposite. I've got all of the Erasmo Ramirez, and you have none. So,
I mean, I thought Marco was good for a minute there.
I'm just saying. They're the only 2 I could think of where we were ever just like, oh, I have 60. And you were like, no, I have none.
Your one lineup without Godley is going to win the G. I have more than, I mean, I've got like 60% Godley. I don't have 100% or 99% or anything. But
all right, FanDuel Crunch is done. Let's go ahead and drop that bad boy into my sheet. I'll give my final update on my FanDuel side, and then we are going to play around with this for the next 10 plus minutes. And honestly, I really couldn't be much more excited than I am right now. I know that's out like, I'm not even being funny. Anytime this thing gets better, I'm sure the person that called me out on Fantasy Cruncher or on Twitter, I have no idea. I believe they thought that I've been an employee of Fantasy Cruncher for an extended amount of time. I've never been an employee of Fantasy Cruncher. brief I think two articles I wrote, maybe 3. That was about it. Yeah. I have been a very big fan on Reddit, though. Okay, so fading the Rangers. I have some Orioles, Diamondbacks, and Angels. Yeah, we're good to go. Let's go ahead and finish this off. Dong picks. No K in there. I'm sorry, DFS Goat, but I am not sending you a picture of my crotch. I believe my wife would be mad that I was sending nudes to an internet stranger.
Wait, what?
It said Dong picks, but he spelled picks like they're pictures, not like they are the selections.
Much more to come. There we go.
Dave the Goat. All right. DK, lineups are in. Fantasy Cruncher. Fantasy Cruncher. FanDuel, lineups are in. Well, I think FanDuel lineups are in. I pressed upload. Okay, lineups are in. Let's do this. So I'm going to hop back to DK, and we're going to play around. And I don't even know what we're doing here. So we're going to want... We're going to want expected ownership as well, I guess, right? Let's add that to my table. Osmo DK ownership. This is going to be wild. All right, so let's copy. Does it need to be a whole number? That's going to be really annoying. Hey, can they be decimals? Don't yell at me so quickly now. All right, I'll add ownership projections for sure. We've got get rid of this and this and this. And that'll be perfect. Now, he is yelling at me. Mean person that's coming out with great tools.
Can be decimals.
Oh, can be decimals. Perfect. All right. DraftKings projections copied and pasted, although that doesn't matter. So, all right, I'm going to need a blank column of randomness. I assume. I don't know if that's true. We'll find out. All right. Ownership projections. My projections. Shit. Add column. Ownership. There we go. All right. We've got everything. Projections. Exposure. I put in 0 randomness because I don't have anything. Ownership projections as well. So let's check it out. What's the walkthrough here? What am I supposed to do? Let's look at this. Upload data. No. Where's it at? Advanced options. My data. All right. Why can't I add anything? Now you will need to reload before the new column is shown. Good to know. Okay, I've reloaded. Thank you. Perfect walkthrough, Dave. We're going good so far. If I hop to my data.
A max number of...
All right, I don't know what I need to do. Tell me. I did refresh the page. I got it. It's ownership. We're good. Are we not? I don't understand what I'm going to do with this now. Oh, okay. I see the ownership in here now. Oh, so that would be like... Now I still don't even understand what I'm supposed to do here. Minimum number of... Using own, each lineup must have a minimum of... Oh, okay. Crunch some lineups. I can do that. Holy shit, you can crunch based on ownership projections. It's kind of wild.
So just be with the field everywhere? I don't... what would you be doing there?
I don't know.
You're doing a 2-player stack?
I guess. Okay. All right. Crunching 100 lines. Yikes, Josh getting schooled on the air. He built this. No one has ever seen this before. I'm literally debuting this to my knowledge.
Wait, how are you getting schooled?
Because he's telling me how to use something I've never known. Yeah, you can make 50-50 or cash lineups by using a max own as the calculate field. So you can say that you want to have like at least 4 guys that are over 30% owned. Or only one guy lower than 10%.
I see. Oh. So you could have like at least 2 guys that are below 5% owned.
Yeah.
In your lineups.
Click at the top of a card, click the gear icon. Yes, sir. Add ownership. No shit. Okay.
So total ownership?
Yeah. So I can sort that by ownership? Nope. Dave, you gotta add that as a sort column, I guess.
To see what your chalkiest lineups are?
Yeah. So if I resort this right now by that ownership, I would be able to say this is my chalkiest lineup, this is my second, this is my least chalky.
That is slick.
That is real slick.
Okay.
I still don't understand the I don't understand creating the rule on this data though.
What do you mean?
I don't understand. So there's the advanced option setting. I don't know. Minimum. I don't know what the per lineup section is on this section here in the my data portion of the advanced options. It was a tab that never existed before.
Maybe we'll get an explanation here.
Ooh, he's going to add that as a sort column. That's perfect. Yeah, because I think that'd be a perfect thing to sort. You know, you crunch out 150 lines, sort that by ownership, and I guess you would naturally be setting, you know, you could work from reverse to find your lineup to have, you know, something that fits a little bit more from a cash perspective, so to speak.
Borderline cheating.
Damn, Dave, I should have just had you call in. Yeah, the only thing I don't understand what to do is this my data section. Oh, now I do. Okay. So let's do this. What I can do here, I want to have a maximum ownership score of 1. That means the total of everybody will only be, I mean, this is just like the ultimate like unowned lineup. DeGrom 28%, Godley 50%, and then it's unowned Caleb Joseph, unowned Cano and Nunez and Beckham and Mullins and Joey Ricard. So you can get, here's a unique lineup of people.
Oh, okay. That is, damn, that would have been sick for this slate. If we could have, you know what I'm saying? Because the ownership's so concentrated, you could have set it at, what? I don't even know. The 150%, 200%. I don't know what it would be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, you would have to crunch out a bunch of lines and see sort of what the range is of something that comes up,
and see like 50K missed out.
Or you can keep it in a. What I think is really interesting is trying to avoid a cap in a GPP, but also having a certain threshold that you want to get over, so you're not unnecessarily contrarian.
Yeah.
So, like, let's say everybody's 10% owned in a lineup. That'd be starting pitcher, catcher, first, second, third, short, outfield. If everybody is 10% owned, what's that total? Oh my god, I'm so stupid. As if this is something that I needed to type in and couldn't just add 10. So like 1 would be 10% owned. So that's a what lineup? 1 divided by product. All right. So if everybody's 10% owned, we're looking at a lineup of 1 in 10 billion. And that's a sum of 1. So let's check that out. Let's do ownership minimum 0.8, maximum 1.2. There's no way this is going to happen fast. Ooh, it's happening very fast. Oh, Dave, look at you. Look at you, gangster.
So you have to, you need ownership tools to use this.
If you want to use ownership, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, why
I
wouldn't
think
you?
before I own Osimo, Alex would probably just buy this.
What's that?
I think before I have the opportunity to own Osimo, Alex would simply buy Fantasy Cruncher. So I just cranked out 100 lineups. All of them have a total ownership of between 0.8 and 1.2. And sure as shit, every one of them is there. Lots of Orioles to get that done.
He says, so you need ownership from, like, I don't know, Osimo? Yeah, maybe Osimo.com.
Yeah, and if you have a premium membership, you can get said exposure or said ownership. Ooh, I have another thing that I want. Since you're here and I could shout out stuff that I'd like. Although it's really not going to be that interesting for you, but for next baseball season, potentially, I would love for the unique players to have a checkbox to ignore the pitchers. Or at least some sort of include pitchers mechanism. More often than not, I'd rather have a unique set of hitters and the same pitchers. But sometimes that doesn't necessarily work out. Neither here nor there. This is sick.
Go to NFL.
It's not a bad idea. I don't know if they have projections in yet.
Look at...
and I don't want to give away their stuff.
What do you mean?
Wait, did he tell me to go to NFL? Okay. Okay. I thought you were just telling me to go to NFL. I was like, maybe I shouldn't do that.
He gave you the okay.
Yeah, your world.
They have ownership projections in there.
Look for advanced options.
Regular projections.
Go to NFL for a sec. Look at advanced options.
My data. Holy, oh my gosh. So.
Okay. Okay, unique players per position.
This is nuts.
Happy Labor Day, everybody.
Jeez.
Dave put in a very large amount of labor and gave us an incredible present. And guess what? This Friday, we're giving away free accounts to Osimo.com. Tune into the streams, and somebody's walking away with some Osimo.com accounts. And now you have the ability to really go balls deep on Fantasy Cruncher. This is sick.
Wow.
This is sick.
So, unique players per position.
Yeah, right? I don't... Oh, man. Quarterback with at least one.
Running back.
With one wide receiver, tight end from the same team. Exactly one from opposing team. Running back, exactly 0 with running back. QB, defense, exactly 0. QB. So, unique players per position. What am I misunderstanding here? This will enforce each lineup to have a unique number of players by position. This could be used to get all combinations of a position. What am I not understanding here? What would not be... What wouldn't be unique? So if I have 3 unique players per position. Oh, okay. So if I crunch 2 lines and I say 2 unique running backs per position, it's going to be completely different running backs on both. That makes sense. Oh, this is going to be great.
Let's say you want every combo of your receivers. You may never want the same set of 3 out of 4. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
I like that a lot.
That's pretty nice.
I'm just going to crunch out 150 lines and just see how this pops. Yeah, you know, I'm probably not going to do the Tyrod Taylor stack with Landry. Just saying that right now, but that's something that I'll handle in groups.
Dude, that ownership tool is so good for like building like a Millie Maker lineup.
Yeah.
You know, because like you need a 1 in however many. You cannot be playing the chalk at every position.
Yeah, there's a level that you'll want to cross.
That's the first thing I thought of with the ownership thing.
That's that's basically what I want to do in MLB with pitchers. Tom, we need to do a show on just these features, maybe process show tomorrow. Maybe yeah, I know, Dave, it's going to be slower.
McBee, yeah, good idea to save this show and maybe or the one tomorrow if you guys do a segment or
I would say I'd be more likely to do it Wednesday. I'd like to take a day and try to understand what I'm doing before I just have like a crap stream for everybody. But yeah, that's happening. It's happening this week, 100%. I'll find some time, but I'm gonna want to take a day to play with this.
Yeah, I mean, we could do it too. You don't have to do it and take away Lothy's time. I mean, people want.
Yeah, I mean, I'll happily leave that show and do another hour. Just whoever wants to join me.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Because this is really awesome. I'm really gonna. We haven't talked about it at all, really. I mentioned it right when I saw the feature, but I really have a ton of interest in the randomization. Like, I have standard deviations for every hitter in my workbook. I use those personally. But being able to add them here now, it'll allow me to use less general randomization and make it more tailored to individual pitchers or individual hitters and pitchers, so that I'll get a lot less Malik Smith and I'll get a lot more insert somebody, Billy McKinney or someone with a big ISO.
Yeah.
Because really, like, you want more Joey Gallo than you want Malik Smith. Like, I'm trying to pick guys that are like obvious, but like, if you're trying to win a GPP, you need to catch a bunch of homers. So you'd rather slowly get dudes with big power trickling in than popping in a lot of like guys that are going to get you 8 to 10 fantasy points.
Why do you hate Malik Smith? It was just an example. Like you want a power guy.
Yeah. Malik Smith was in front of my face, and I was looking for like a relatively low ISO in the ISO column on here. It's the only reason I got to Malik Smith. This is really wild.
Dude, this is...
So now I need to think about what the value is going to be of additional columns. What else can be added?
Oh, Josh, we got to pick our home run picks. The slate locked, so...
We made our home run picks, didn't we? Oh, no, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
Okay.
So, want to go quick before anything happens?
Yeah, I was checking my phone to see if anybody donged. I was going to call it and see if you noticed. Oh, we went yard already. Now, go ahead. You're the leader in the clubhouse. You got it.
Are we counting the one from this morning?
Yeah.
The Rizzo?
I think we have to, right?
Well, we both made picks, so. All right. Ooh.
Philip, that's a great question. Are the beta features in the rewind for beta?
Give me Shin-Soo Choo. Oh, yes, they are.
Awesome. All right, you're going Chew. I think that's fine. I'm going to stick with my Mariners for today. Give me Mitch Haniger.
All right.
Jason Sullivan, Dave, can you have a tutorial on this on Fantasy Cruncher? Dude, we just got done talking about that. I'm going to do that exact thing. You're getting exactly what you want. Man, I did not see this coming.
Yeah.
I don't even care what happens in my lineups tonight. I mean, that's not true, but like, wow.
I have the beta, actually.
Dude, all I wanted was pasting in randomness. I had no idea that this was going to come in here like that.
Lamar Mustang.
So then you can, I think this is a really interesting way to look at it. I just sorted this by our expected ownership. Rougned Odor 43%. Like you can immediately see if you're getting any of those chalky guys.
Yeah.
This is hashtag game changer is right, man. I'm honestly at a loss for words.
This is good stuff.
I love it. I absolutely love it. We're getting to about that time where I probably need to stop filleting Dave.
Oh God.
I think this is a fascinating change for people, and it'll go overlooked because of what this tool generally is for, which would be bulk entering tournaments. But
yeah,
I think this becomes a really, really valuable tool for people that are playing cash.
For sure.
Because you can give yourself an incredibly cash-centric lineup. You could even get yourself like maybe 2 or 3 unique cash lineups that follow a similar structure if you wanted to try to get yourself a little bit less variance from a cash perspective. I mean, I can't imagine how many hours you've put into this, Dave, just in general. I've been using this tool essentially since it started, however many years was it. I want to say that it was probably like somewhere in the 2014 neighborhood. I'm just trying to think about when I was using it and when I got married, and they were all generally happening at the same time. I have loved this tool at every point in time since then, and it just took a very, very, very big step.
Yeah, this is amazing. Yeah, 10,000 hours. Malcolm Gladwell. There you go, Philip.
Yeah.
Man, this is going to be fun. When is this going to be available on the standard? Do we have any idea?
I would guess no time soon. I mean, I don't want to say no time soon, but yeah, there you go. Start 2014 this time of year. That sounds about right. I was just getting ready to go to my honeymoon in November, and that's when I started like really being involved on the DFS subreddit. Because people were like, yo, you're going to be gone for 8 days? How do I get NBA projections?
Oh my God, it's going to be live this week.
Oh, I figured I was going to be testing this out, providing some...
Jeez.
Okay, so Dave, how would you recommend adding in ownership projections? Would you probably round that off? I'm just trying to think of it from like a visual perspective. I'll probably just multiply it by 100 so it comes up clean. Okay, so I ran 10 lines. Oh, I set that structure. So like, let's try to make a cash line and then we'll sign off. So let's say that we want ownership to be a maximum of a minimum of 1.8. That feels like it'd be pretty cashy.
I mean, you might want to go even higher on this type of slate. It's 5 games.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. See, I mean,
Yeah, I'm getting 2s and 3s. Not that that's necessarily like the be all and end all for cash either, just to be clear. But you do try to want to avoid having guys that are any more than like, you know.
you don't just play the chalk and cash,
Right.
right? You play the best plays,
Right.
is what I hear. And
Correct.
I don't play cash, and I should play more cash, especially, I think, probably for NHL. But yeah, definitely going to try to play more cash. And this is a super, super, super useful tool.
That's really interesting. You can calculate by anything you upload. So you could add 4 or 5 different projection sources at a time. Maybe take your top 75 from projection source X, top 75 from Y to get a little bit of a different perspective. So Dave, one other thing that I would question, would you be able to set any, and maybe I can already do this, would you be able to set any individual player threshold? So if I said I wanted to have a minimum of 2.5, but I also didn't want to have any individual person under 5. I mean, I guess I could just not select those guys. That's probably what you're going to tell me to do. That would be kind of crazy.
Yeah, this is a lot to parse through for sure.
Yeah, so like here's, you can go Godley, Erasmo, a Mariner stack with Trout, Andrelton Simmons, and Paul Goldschmidt. Relatively chalky lineup. Only guy that's not super owned is Robinson Cano, which, by the way, is fucking preposterous. If he's really 4% by the time we get there, I think I have 30.
Ooh. Who's 4%?
Cano.
Oh, yeah.
Not that interested?
I don't know. Stroman's getting waxed. That's great.
5-game slate for Cano.
You should be higher.
5.2 total. I don't know how you get to Cano at 4%.
Yeah, you should be higher than that. I agree.
Oh my God, Dave. This is fascinating.
Yeah.
I hope Manny didn't do a stream about this earlier. I hope we just popped the cherry. Look, I should have some time tomorrow during the day. I'll come on and just screw with it for a little bit, but we'll try to put something together a little bit more formal for Wednesday.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it and have it just be like this crapshoot of doing it. I want to get on here and like mess around with it. I want to see how I could best utilize it. I want to work randomization in because I think that's going to be really essential. And I think doing a walkthrough of that as well will be really big. All right. Manny's at the Florida State tailgate. Snooze, you lose, Manny. Sorry, brother. Dibs. We're calling dibs.
The world premiere.
Oh, graceful.
Good stuff.
Well, this is the first time we used that, and this is definitely better than previous first times in my life. I can say that much.
Jeez.
Jake, you got anything else to add, man? I don't even know how to end this.
No, it's gonna be fun to try to figure these tools out. Hopefully, make some money so you have a way to get in 150 lineups tonight. That would be nice if we could make some money tonight. Go Orioles bats. No Erasmo for me.
Whew. I am just... Best of luck, everybody. I got nothing. Get ready for a heavy dose of Fantasy Cruncher tutorials. Awesemo.com. Pay attention. Be ready. Friday stream. We're giving out free subs as we head into the NFL season. Don't miss it. Yeah, that's where we're at. Stroman dead already?
Good stuff.
Is it that bad?
Is he actually dead, or is he just
1-0.
Yeah, he's fine.
I said, man, I should have went to the Rays. I have a little bit of them on FanDuel, not nearly enough, and I don't have them on DK, which is kind of sad. But look, until it starts being a bunch of taters, I'm fine with Stroman being dead.
He's 18 pitches through the first.
Yeah. I just don't want the Rays to be alive. So that's it. Adios, everybody. Best of luck tonight. I got to go figure this out. So good luck.